My name is Bharathwaj Sankaran. I graduated with PhD in civil engineering from the University of Texas at Austin in December 2017. And since then, I've been working with WSP USA as engineering consultant for their infrastructure planning, development, and financing. What really drew me to my job was basically it's very interdisciplinary. It actually blended well with the kind of experience and exposure that I got at the University of Texas. Myself being in civil engineering program, I got exposure to a variety of topics like project financing, project management. I also had opportunities to branch out into the world of transportation engineering as well, gathering some background on public-private partnerships. So the diversity in terms of the curriculum that I actually gathered during my time at UT prepared me for my current job. I would say it actually depends. More often, we actually work across time zones. I actually work with State Department of Transportations and toll authorities. Those are the typical clients that I actually work with, and they are spread across the country from California to New York. On a typical workday, we actually start off with meetings with the clients, demonstrating the progress on our projects. That pretty much takes up around 10 to 20% of my time, and also coordinating on various efforts that is needed to actually do the actual work for our projects. And then after that, the actual work itself that I actually engage relates to several different kinds of topics, ranging from financial modeling for net revenue assessment for tolling facilities to research on emerging transportation technologies and to some data analytics exercise to understand project management issues or traffic safety issues and whatnot. So the actual work, I would say, composes around 50% of my typical workday. Changing my graduate CV, which usually runs to 5 to 10 pages, to a resume that fits industry's expectations, I would say it's a process. Basically, it requires us to understand the significant portions of our resume that any particular hiring manager from the industry would be interested in. For me, I would say what really helped was focusing on my educational qualifications, salient projects that I can actually highlight from my graduate school, as well as my work experience. I also had internship experience while I was doing my PhD. I had a few important points highlighted from those points as well. And besides that, I would say highlighting your programming and statistical modeling skills, that also stands out. So these were the key points that I actually highlighted from my large CV. Now, besides that, it would also be helpful to also have one or two selected publications. Let's say if you have around 5 to 10 journal publications for a particular job, you might see that one or two will eventually boost your opportunities to be recognized. So again, recommending or suggesting including one or two top publications from your archive is also a good idea. I would say networking, top of all the recommendations that I received from my peers. Going to conferences and meeting our peers and making sure that you actually stay in touch with them, sharing your priorities and interests and the areas where your research is actually contributing and how it can actually benefit any particular companies. And if you are able to actually sustain those communications and maintain that communication thread, I think that would be a best way of transforming it into a good job opportunity. The other best thing that really helped me is enhancing my public speaking skills. Again, going to conference as a researcher, it would help you to actually project your research and defend your ideas and thought processes in front of audience who have not seen your research before. And to some extent, I would say that gives you the confidence to actually face your technical interview or HR interview whenever you actually do get an interview opportunity. So those are, I would say, one of the key opportunities or key strategies that I kind of benefited from during my time at the graduate school that really helped me shape my career path afterwards. Number one, my organization is actually a very large professional consulting firm, and we do work across different industrial sectors ranging from transportation, energy, buildings, and water. And we also look at a variety of services. So what I would look for essentially to begin with is like your core area of expertise, and if that actually matches with the skill sets and requirements of the positions. And besides that, like I would also look at like what other diverse skill set you actually bring to the table. For example, as I mentioned, in my own case, I had branched out to actually gather skills in statistics and data sciences and like operation research, and quite a bit in transportation as well. So also looking at what other skill sets does this candidate bring to the table that could be valuable to a company as an organization as a whole. And more in general, from a human resource perspective, I would also like to talk to the candidate and understand about their willingness to learn and being receptive to actually work on a variety of projects. I think those are all important qualities that I would look for in a candidate who will be interested to work with us. So I happen to be in one of those companies where we are promoting this hybrid work culture. So to a larger extent, the best practices that we learned from our COVID time period, completely working from home, would still apply going into the flexible or hybrid work culture that we are likely looking at for the next year or two. In that context, still making sure that you have a effective time management working from home, maintaining a good separation between your work and life, both in terms of time as well as space. Those are really important things, I would say, that will still determine the success in the next year or two coming out of COVID. And to a larger extent, we are all excited going back to the office, because this also brings back the opportunities to meet people in person, and again, like revive those business opportunities and pursuits that once upon a time we used to have all these things in person, but we had gone back to working from remote, and now all these practices are coming back live again. So making sure that we are ready for the transition is also another important element that many companies are focusing on. In terms of job opportunities, being proactive in networking and understanding any company's requirements played a huge part, so that you can target your search towards those companies and figure out like where you can actually stand out with your unique skill sets and requirements. And also making sure that you network with like similar peers and organizations within the university. That actually played a huge role for me as well. Like wherever opportunities existed, I went to the Graduate Students Assembly, I went to the ASC, American Society of Civil Engineers talks, and trying to understand the opportunities out there and figure out how that would fit in my role. So basically being proactive and like seeking mentorship from peer organizations within the university, that really helped me in navigating some of the both unique circumstances and challenges that came my way as an international student.